Okay, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable meditation position. And so hopefully Gabe will be able to get away from his work with death and grieving. And also, let's just think about Lucy. I can't imagine having cancer in your heart. Don't even know what that would feel like. I'd say pretty vulnerable. And then, of course, for our precious mummy Max. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. The feet, hips width apart, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and ears aligned with the shoulders. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine, put some space in between your vertebrae. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Then bring your mind to the crown of the head. Relax the scalp, the forehead, and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the head, back of the neck. Allow the shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly, and all of the limbs. And even your fingers, your toes. Relax your feet. And breathe. And be aware if there's any sounds in your environment, and try not to follow those with the mind. And then notice the thoughts that might be arising in the mind. Try to put some space in between those thoughts. Try not to judge what's going on in the mind. Criticizing yourself. It's not super helpful. And so if there's anything in your mind that is not serving you very well, just allow it to be released. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, our loved ones. These are people who are very, very dear to us. We have profound relationships with these people, and then there's our strangers. And then there's the people we don't like so much, we're not so comfortable with. And just be aware that they can all change place at any time. This friend, this one we don't like, this stranger. As I was taking Venerable Robina back into San Francisco and I was coming back out again, of course it's late afternoon at this point, and so many people there, many, many strangers there. So I'm walking all over the place, driving in cars, on bikes. And each one of those people has a life that I know nothing about. Sadness, grief, disappointments, excitements, highs, different kinds of worries. And, due to our karma, any one of those people could become a beloved. Maybe not this year, maybe next. You never know. And, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So think of our Lucy with the heart thing. And of course, our precious Mummy Max. I'm kind of thinking about, I don't know if you call a celebrant their clients. Anyway, Gabe in Australia, you can think about all his people that he sees, that he deals with. They're all suffering, loss. I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can create positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future, and we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more, so logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see, this is Vajrasattva, who we see more like as a doctor rather than, some kind of higher power or deity or whatever. So, and we're not needing this Buddha to forgive us. We are purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods and his medicine. Well, his methods are his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine, just for a moment, this is brilliant, radiant white light ball above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made a radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this is a little section here on compassion. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So this is why it's under this heading of reliance. And beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think of particularly people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will, end up as suffering for them sometime down the track. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy. This is the third of the four opponent powers. And we start with purification of the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dita meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dita meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. It's a bit lighter that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of your speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Oh, sorry. We've recited the mantra. Yeah. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So it seems we've done double duty for the speech. So I can really, really rejoice that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. This also includes what you write. But also just remember that everything you say, you're listening to, hopefully. So it'll probably benefit you as well. So next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This kind of arcs around and enters your crown and fills you completely It's like when you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, depression, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. And I know as I'm saying this, I know I'm hearing in myself, gosh, easier said than done, right? But we have to sort of start somewhere. Fake it till you make it. We have to start somewhere. We can't always be thinking, oh, this is impossible. I'm never going to get there. We've just got to start by saying, this is how it is. And then, it kind of gives you a bit of courage. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe. So be delighted that all your delusions, these are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, because if we didn't have them in our mind, we wouldn't be, kind of expressing with our body, speech, and mind. So now I think there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of body, speech, and mind. And Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified and just imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is the determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And this kind of guides us in a more positive direction. But as we've been doing this week, also maybe try and notice when those negative thoughts are arising, when your ego is arising, and try and catch it and look at it and examine it. You know, and even if that's all you're doing, that is the very, very first step in changing our behavior, changing the way we think about things. It's very empowering. But it also initially could be a little bit disturbing because you might be seeing things there that you may not have noticed before. So something to think about anyway. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you can think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And of course, our precious Lama Yeshe used to call it union oneness. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this practice to all living beings, to Lucy, to Mummy Max, to Gabe and all his clients in Australia, all his grieving clients, and to any of you out there who are having any kind of difficulty whatsoever. And for all the people who aren't as well, and to all sentient beings. And may all the virtuous karma I've created ripen as my enlightenment as quickly as possible for everyone. Okay, everybody, lots of love and strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and for your own precious teachers. And special thanks to those of you who it's definitely past bedtime, for most of you, except for Marion and myself and Susan. Oh, and Jennifer, I think. Jennifer, didn't you say you were close by as well? And Fernando,
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
in
where you...
Davis by Sacramento.
Yes, you're in Cali as well. Okay. Thank you for joining again. Nice to see you. And Fernando, I don't know where you are. But I know where everyone else is and it's bedtime. Okay. Lots of love, everyone. We'll do Medicine Buddha tomorrow morning for Mummy Max, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you.